Hey guys, hi and welcome to the video. This is tutorial number 3. In this video, we will be learning how to insert data into basically Elasticsearch and Kibana. This is a tutorial on Elasticsearch Kibana. So far we're just doing the basics. We last video, that is part 2, we learned how to create a simple database. We learned how to delete the database. We learned how to get the database. Simple, right? Now let's create some records and let's actually insert some data into Elasticsearch. I'm gonna also visualize those data using Kibana. I'm gonna show you in the upcoming videos. So in this video, let's learn actually how to insert the values inside basically your Elasticsearch, right? So let's get started. Your server is running, make sure those are on. Okay, so I'm gonna say the code is there on my blog, so make sure to check that out, please. Okay, so I'm gonna insert these two JSON data. Okay, so here you can see first name Saumil, last name Shah, age 24, about I'm a full stack software developer, YouTube, music, E2 Nitin, Shah, age 58, Saumil Shah, stock relax, Saumil's father, sorry, my bad. All right, so those are the two records that we need to insert it, right? So I'm gonna run this. Okay, so we want to insert these two records. So first of all, what we need to do is basically we need to create an index, right, as I showed you in the last video. So we'll say indices.create, index is equal to person, ignore 400. That means if it's already exists, don't give me errors. So now let's try to insert that. Okay, so let me just run this, and sure enough I get acknowledgement. That is true. That means it was able to create that database file called as person. Okay, so now let's insert some values into it. So I can simply say response, and I can say es .index. I can say es.index, and then you need to say where do you want to insert it. So I'm going to say index, and that where is going to be in the person. That's the database name, right? And basically you have to specify something called as the table name. We haven't specified. Table name is nothing but doc type in this. So think of a table name as a doc type. That's the most simplest way. So my table name would be basically people. Okay, and again I would say so now you need to pass in the JSON data, right? So the way you can do this is basically by specifying the body attribute, and you can say E1. All right, so that's done, and let's run this code, and sure enough it does run, and I say response, and here you can see I get this response. That means index name is a database name, which is person, type is the table name, ID is basically a unique ID, version, we have the result that is created, shards. Something that is it's something that you don't need to worry about right now at this moment, but we'll talk about that in detail as well. So basically we were able to add into the database. Okay, so now how do I get that data back? So we need to query that, right? So first of all, let's try to see whether the database does exist called as person. So I would say es.index.getAlias. We did this in the last video, and sure enough we do have person here. Here you can see that's easy, right? Now let's query the data, right? So what I'll do is basically, in order to query the data, I have to write a Json query. So I'm just gonna return everything for now, and as the tutorial progresses, we'll be doing more and more complicated stuff. So query, and this query is basically a JSON, and in this JSON, let me just make sure that everyone can see the screen. So I'm gonna pass in match_all. That's basically means give me all data, and technically, just to let you know, it won't give you all the data. It will give you only 10 records. So if you are wondering and scratching your brains, how do I get all the data, is basically you have to specify something called as size, which I'm gonna talk about that. So just be relaxed, keep watching the videos. As the video is progressing, we'll keep learning stuff. Okay, so let's say response is equal to es, that is the instance that we created up, right? es.search, we have something called as search. The search takes an argument called as index. Where do you want to search? We want to search in the database called as person. Then what table do you want to say? So we supply table. It's fine if you want. I mean by default there's only one table, so we don't need to specify that. So we'll just say body is equal to query. So we'll supply the query that we wrote, and at the end we can say size. Right now it's just one document inside, so it's, even if you don't specify this, it's fine. Okay, so but you can do that. Okay, just that's what I want to show. I wanted to let you know that you can specify the size object, and here you can see that's my data, right? Here you can see in the source attribute I have my data. So if I want to iterate over this, basically for x in res print x, you can iterate over the JSON data, right? Or one more method that you can also create a pandas data frame out of it. It's pretty easy. Let me show you that. Let's go here. Response, right? So since it's a JSON, right? So we need to come inside, I think, the hits. Let's get rid of these blank spaces. And here you can see that's the hit. And inside that, again, I want to come inside the hits. I should have said data. All right, and let's do this way, guys. Data is equal to, or you know what, let's just create a pandas data frame out of it. So data frame. Oops, I think I had to go one more step inside that. Okay, so that's my data, right? Now I'll go again inside the hit section. Right, let's store that in again a data. That's my data. PD dot data frame. Oops. And here you can see I have one record, and we converted the data into a pandas data frame. So that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I would be introducing Kibana, basically, which is a UI based search tool. I'm going to introduce you to Kibana. We'll learn about the dashboard, what are the different stuff. We'll learn how to query this data. Let me just add 2 more data into it. So we can query this, copy, gonna add 2 more data source, right? This is just a basically data, right? So I'm just adding it. Code is there on my blog. Make sure to check that out. If you love my tutorials, a comment would be really appreciated, or a like. And I have added it. Okay, so in the next video, basically I would be introducing you to the Kibana. We'll basically learn how to query this data using Kibana, how easy it is, how fast it is, how efficient it is, right? We'll learn all of that. We'll query the data. We'll learn more how to write a little complex queries. We don't need to write it. Kibana does that for you. You can just copy it and insert it in your Python code. We'll learn all of that. And I also want to teach you how to convert a pandas data frame, or how to upload the pandas data frame into Elastic Search, because a lot of time you have to do such kind of ETL jobs where you have data in the S3 bucket and you want to move it to the Elastic Search. We'll look at all of that, but let's go a little slow. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have any more questions, concern, please let me know by doing that in the comment section below. If you have enjoyed this video, a like would be appreciated. And as usual, keep smiling, keep coding, and see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.